And good afternoon. Welcome to Northern Kentucky Spotlight. I'm Catherine Nero, alongside, as always, or as usual anyway, Jeremy Schran, Marketing and Communications Director for the Northern Kentucky Chamber. It's January 9th, episode 34. We're just raking them in the new year,
that's
aren't we?
Crazy.
We want to thank, of course, as always, our title sponsor, CBG, our studio sponsor, the L&N Federal Credit Union, and we're branching out on the show today. You may have got a little sneak preview, those of you on Facebook, but we're our first, hopefully, remote guest today. Who else do we have on the show today, Jeremy?
Well, I'm gonna let you say his name because
yes, I just asked him. Crasian, Dan Crasian.
Crasian, yes, he's the co-founder and CMO of Find.jobs, and they are the company that we partner with to create our jobs website. So we're gonna hear from them and hear about that and why, if you're a chamber member, you should be using the nkychamber.jobs.
Absolutely.
And then after that, we have Kelly Rose, who's the Director of Marketing and Development for Welcome House, and Sarah Kamen, who is the Development Manager, and they're going to come in and tell us about their Mardi Gras fundraiser they do every year, which is awesome. It's so much fun if you've ever been to it.
It's hard to believe we're already talking about Mardi Gras, but it's right around the corner.
Yep.
All right, we've got a lot coming your way, certainly. Stay with us. We're going to be talking about jobs, specifically how you can find some right here in Northern Kentucky. Stay with us.
Sometimes life is hectic. Choosing a mortgage lender shouldn't be. The L&N 5-5 Mortgage offers competitive rates, no PMI, and up to 100% financing. That's a mortgage that comes with peace of mind. Whether you're purchasing a new home or refinancing, you'll feel right at home with L&N. We're local, trusted, and we'll be here for you even after your closing. Call 800-292-2905 and get started on your 5-5 mortgage. L&N Federal Credit Union. Welcome home.
CBG Airport is the lowest fare airport in the tri-state region with 50. Jeremy's over there. It takes a cast of thousands here on Northern Kentucky Spotlight. So, welcome back, and thank you for joining us. We want to talk right now, as we mentioned before here in Northern Kentucky Spotlight. We're going to talk with Find.jobs CMO and co-founder Dan Crasian. Dan, first of all, thank you for joining us on the Northern Kentucky Spotlight today. All right, let's start with the basic question, Dan. What is Find.jobs? And one of those little pieces of the internet is the Northern Kentucky Chamber Jobs Board. So why was Northern Kentucky Chamber.jobs created?
And what we had to offer, it felt like there was a opportunity to integrate our vast ability to create job boards, to attract high quality United States-based job seeker traffic to the employers within the Kentucky region. So there was a great mix of technology and local initiatives happening within Northern Kentucky.
Awesome. And sorry, we're getting people bugging us. Opening the door here. So how did the chamber members take advantage of the website? Like, how do they sign up?
Yeah, which is great. So any one of the chamber members can go to nkychamber.jobs. So instead of the .com, they want to type in .job to get to the job board. And they have the ability to register. And when they register with us, we'll go ahead and we'll make sure that they're a chamber member, and then we'll end up sending them an email with a password reset link. And the great thing about chamber members and what we've provided together with the Northern Kentucky Chamber of Commerce is that all of the job postings that they put on nkychamber.jobs are absolutely free. So they go to this website, they're able to attract, again, a substantial amount of talent, and they can all do this for the cost of their chamber membership. It's a fantastic.
So it's obviously a good reason for chamber members to use the board, but what about employers themselves? How can they do a better job of hiring now that we've started this new year?
Yeah, I think that, there's a lot of changes that are happening within HR technology, and employers are they're feeling it. It's harder to find good quality talent. The job boards, which is a tool that every employer is used to using, they're starting to provide lower quality talent in response for very expensive job posts. So, one of the things that they can do is obviously take advantage of free resources that the chamber, provides to them, like kychamber.jobs. Additionally, they want to start being more descriptive with their job posts. Start, identifying what salaries are. They want to give information and be as clear as possible with every single one of the job seekers, so that they can filter out, a lot of the requests for information that don't ever turn into anything. And I think that's one of the greatest things about what Find.jobs and Northern Kentucky Chamber have together is that, the traffic that comes into the nkychamber.jobs website is pure organic traffic, active job seekers. There are, rarely passive job seekers that would engage with the platform based on the talent attraction technology. So it's a for sure. That's where employers want to.
Yeah. I've been in some of these meetings with .jobs and kind of have seen some of the statistics and the numbers that he's kind of referring to right now. And it's really interesting to me because you really see in these numbers where the traffic is coming from Google. And I know we're kind of talking about all this traffic and things, and sometimes some of our listeners might be like, well, they're talking about tech. What's that mean?
Right.
But really, if you go to Google and you search for a job, Google Jobs pop up first before anything. Just like anything else, when you're searching for stuff, those images pop up first, those news articles pop up first. But our site, our chamber website, makes it so those jobs pop up in that Google Jobs listing. So a small company that doesn't have a big budget can go post their job for free on the Chamber's Jobs website, and it'll pop up in the Google search when they're looking. So if it's a small company that's hiring an engineer and they put out a job for an engineer in Northern Kentucky, and someone's going I'm an engineer and I want to live in Northern Kentucky, I want to live in Cincinnati, and they type that into Google, it's going to pop right up there in the top for free.
Yeah, and it's a benefit that it's easy to get if you're a chamber member. We have one last question for you, Dan. Each month we have a targeted question for our interview subjects, and so you get it right now. With the beginning of the new year, the Chamber's focused on health and wellness for the month of January. So what's one thing you do to focus on health and wellness?
So I have a 4-year-old son. He's about to turn 5. Hi, Eli, if you're listening. One of the things that we love to do is we love to go outside, and we love to throw around the football and play baseball. So as a family man, I like to go outside and spend time with my kids.
That's perfect. It's 2 birds with 1 stone. Family time and a little bit of exercise as well. Dan, thank you so much. We appreciate all you've done for the Chamber.jobs board and the explanation here today as well. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Great time.
All right, and thank you guys for watching as well. Stay with us. We've got headlines across Northern Kentucky coming your way and another special guest after that. Stick with us on Northern Kentucky Spotlight. CVG Airport is the lowest fare airport in the tri-state region with 54 nonstop flights and direct international service to 7 destinations, including Paris, France, and now home to both DHL's and Amazon's global cargo hubs. The airport is furthering its position as leader in aviation and is deeply committed to being an economic driver for the community. You can learn more and start your next adventure at cvgairport.com.
Are you looking for talent in Northern Kentucky? Post your jobs to nkychamber.jobs. nkychamber.jobs is the premier job board to search for jobs in Northern Kentucky. Chamber members post your jobs for free and receive exclusive discounts on Find.Jobs recruitment products. Sign up today by visiting www.nkychamber.jobs. That's www.nkychamber.jobs.
And we're back.
We are. Fantastic. At least you were paying attention.
Yeah.
All right. So listen, there are so many headlines headed your way. And this is the one that we're going to start with. We have talked about here before multiple times. And now finally, as of yesterday, the Emergency Shelter of Northern Kentucky has a new home. You know, they've been on Scott Street forever. There's been some issues about where that's located, and the city was, questioning some things. Now it is moving from Scott Street to 436 13th Street. And they made this announcement just yesterday with St. Elizabeth in Kenton County. Now, Kenton County owned the building that they were previously in. So St. Elizabeth, you were like, oh, wait a minute, what's this about? Well, here's what it's about. St. Elizabeth actually bought that building. And this is from Stephen's Tool Crib. And St. E will also now provide an on-site medical clinic, which in talking
awesome.
with Kim Webb and all those folks over there, they've been talking about the need for this, and maybe most importantly, it will allow for 24-hour sheltering, which that's one of the biggest things that the Emergency Shelter of Northern Kentucky provides for our area's homeless. And so, the idea is, 0 deaths over the winter and in the summer when it is extremely hot and extremely cold. And to do that, you got to have some place for some of these folks to go. And now they do. It's going to be a bigger, better place.
St. Elizabeth is killing it.
Oh my, they're on everything. They're on everything these days.
All right, the GED fees have been waived in Kentucky. So this was a huge announcement from the new governor. They announced that the Kentucky Skills U, a division within Education and Workforce, that will waive the cost to get a GED. Normally it costs about $120. So this eliminates a big barrier for better employment for people that can't get those GEDs because they can't afford that $120. 335,000 Kentuckians do not have a GED or high school diploma, and more than half are not working right now. So
if you think about that, if that's a barrier, that $120, if you could get even some of those folks back to work, it would be great for the state.
Fort Thomas passes a fairness ordinance that passed on Tuesday to provide a legal protection for LGBTQ people. 17th city in Kentucky to pass a similar ordinance, and it's the 5th in Northern Kentucky.
And 4 Northern Kentucky cities are joining together. MLK Day, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, is coming up in a week and a little few days. It's the 20th, January 20th, Monday. And so Erlanger, Ellesmere, Independence, and Covington, for the first time, are joining together to celebrate and honor the life and legacy of Dr. King, and they're calling this a multi-dimensional event. And so they're focusing, and this is interesting, on empathetic listening. So often, let's be fair, you're talking to someone or at them, not with them. And so what they're going to talk about in this event is listening as well as you hear, right? So not just hearing, but actually listening. And so there's going to be panel discussion and music, keynote speech, all kinds of stuff. And they say it's going to be an annual event now to unite these cities to celebrate Dr. King. It's at the Erlanger City Building, and this is at night. So if, I know most kids are out of school, but this is an opportunity for you to do something in the evening to commemorate that day.
Yep. Newport Aquarium is offering free admission for kids. So if your kid is between the ages of 2 and 12, they get in with one. They get one free with a paying adult. It's through March 1st, and the tickets are $27. It's a pretty good deal.
It's
Great
a great
thing
deal.
to get out and do when it's cold out because you're inside.
And you feel like it's tropical in there, right?
We're really lucky to have such a great aquarium in our region.
The end of the year and now the beginning of the year always brings about those lists. I love lists. The Kenton County Library is out with its most checked out books of the year and of the decade since we finished one, so many weeks ago. In adult fiction, number 1 is Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. It was the most checked out book nationwide, too. In adult nonfiction was Girl Wash Your Face by Rachel Hollis. I was one of the ones who checked it out from Kenton County, so I feel special that I've helped them out with this. They also, Kenton County has a library of things. So it's not just books, and I know they've got DVDs and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So the other library of things that you can check out, they listed the top items. Number 1, a Wi-Fi hotspot. So you can check it out if you need it for any particular reason, a portable DVD player, and a sewing machine. So So if you want to try it out, or a kid wants to try it out before buying it, that's the way to do it. And for the decade, by the way, Gone Girl was the most checked out book.
Yep, and that hotspot thing, we might need to remember that for next time we go on off-site.
That's a great point. Check it out at the library.
Awesome. The kitchen at Butler's Pantry reopened Monday. So this used to be biscuits to burgers down in the River Center. It is delicious. I saw some pictures of some of the food that they're now serving there. You need to get down there and try this like as soon as possible. It's great for breakfast and lunch spot. The Fire got a new chef as well.
Right.
Yes. So they're doing lots of stuff down there with Mitch Aarons and Stephen Williams. They're going to be coming on the podcast to talk about all the cool stuff. So, and they just hot off the presses just sent us their new happy hour for Fire, and they've got some. It's Monday through Thursday. Their daily happy hour is 4 to 7, and that's like $6 cocktails, $5 featured wine, $5 drafts, $2.50 domestics. But then each Monday through Thursday night they have a special night. So Monday's industry night, and then you get a beer, a domestic beer, and a shot for $5. Tuesday's burger night, which that's when I'm going down there.
The burger looked amazing.
Yeah, burger and roast potatoes for $10.
And now we're talking in my line of thinking.
Unwind
on Wednesday, yeah. Select bottles for $20, and then they were talking about their Thursday night flight where they'll have like a theme for bourbon or whiskey or wine or whatever it is each Thursday night. Yeah. And by the way, so all of those restaurants down there in the ground floor of the River Center are now run by Y'all Hospitality. And so I was live for the Cincinnati Enquirer over there at Butler's Pantry just yesterday, and it's amazing the changes that they've made over there. So check them out. If you haven't been ever, go. And if you haven't been in a while, go. As
my 3-year-old says, or almost 3-year-old says, delicious.
It's delicious. Yes, very good.
All right.
Is it time?
It's time.
Jeremy?
You got the button queued up?
For Jeremy's Chamber Roundup.
Alrighty, so yes, we do have the Women's Initiative coming next week. It's on Tuesday morning. The pre-registration ends by noon tomorrow because we are about ready to be completely full. So if you haven't registered, get on there, do it now quickly before the tables completely fill up because there's a fire code and we can only get so many people in there. Also, the L&K class. We had Laura Mengi on here to talk about the Giving Circle and how they gave $25,000 to the L&K 2020 class, and they had to figure out how they were going to give it. Well, so now they're figuring it out. So they opened up an RFP for nonprofits. They intend to invest in Northern Kentucky programs that provide housing assistance and or transportation assistance to individuals in need who are working toward the goals of supporting themselves or creating stability. So if that sounds like something that your nonprofit does, get on GCF's website and fill out the RFP so you can take advantage of the
it's a lot of initials.
GCS
and RFPs and LNKs.
LNK, all that fun stuff. Coming up events, we also have an HR 100 on the 16th. Does your organization have a hiring bias? The NKYP event, the YP event is on the 16th. And then also we're going to see everybody at the Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat tomorrow. We still are taking walk-ups there, so you can come right if you forgot to buy your ticket. You can still come right up to that. It is benefiting RYL. It's going to be a really amazing show. And it's at the Carnegie. Don't want to forget that. It's at the Carnegie in Covington. The Carnegie launched or announced their season for next year. So while you're there, you could maybe buy a season pass for the next year.
You very well could.
I mean, they're going to have some really great shows. Little Shop of Horrors, $1 Million Quartet, Fiddler on the Roof, and then also a brand new production by the Ensemble Theater's producing artistic director, Len Myers. It should be really, really awesome.
Lots to look forward to.
To show everyone who we're benefiting, we're benefiting the RYL, which is the Regional Youth Leadership Program. We have a nice little featurette that's going to come up here as soon as Ben hits the button. And after that, we'll be back with Kelly Rose and Sarah Kamen from Welcome House. Go ahead, Ben.
At the Metropolitan Club, business matters, community matters, and belonging matters. That's why the Young Professionals Committee teamed up with the Northern Kentucky Chamber of Commerce to host more than 20 students during the 3rd annual Regional Youth Leadership Alumni Breakfast.
On behalf of the Chamber, we thought it was just a great connection and a great opportunity for our alumni to continue to practice their networking skills, to perhaps find opportunities here in Cincinnati.
We hope that you feel like you can meet some people here today that'll help further your career. Don't be afraid to ask for a business card or a follow-up meeting sometime with some of our members.
The 7-month program brings together high school juniors from Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky to develop their leadership skills using our community as a classroom.
Every month you have a session that you attend. Examples are like local government, economics, law, diversity.
So it exposes you to a lot of different careers in the greater Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky area.
I think for each person it's a very different journey because there's exposure to so many different careers. There's people that came out of RYL and went in the medical track, people like me who went in more of a business economics track, some that went in more government track. And each of us, I think, took a different lesson out of it.
Now I'm at a point in my college career where I'm looking for internships and job opportunities. So this was a great opportunity to meet other young people and also more established professionals.
I definitely recommend it. It's been a fantastic program that I'm obviously still involved in even though I've graduated from it.
I appreciate all of our alumni that show up. This is one of my favorite events because I see you when you're juniors and then I don't get to see you very often after that. So it's kind of fun to be in touch and see where you all end up.
The Metropolitan Club is committed to its mission to unite diverse leaders in our region who desire to make a difference in our community. By hosting this RYL Alumni Breakfast, we hope to build a strong foundation for tomorrow's leaders.
I'm grateful for this opportunity and thankful to the Chamber and to the Met Club for hosting this event.
Welcome back to Northern Kentucky Spotlight, and we are already talking about Mardi Gras, but for a very good cause. We're joined by Kelly Rose, Director of Marketing Development from Welcome House, and Sarah Common, the Development Manager from Welcome House. So welcome to our house, guys.
Thank you.
Oh, okay, beyond that, let's get past that and talk about something great. Let's talk about Mardi Gras for homeless children. And I know a lot of people may have heard about it, but for those who haven't, tell us what it is.
Yeah, so Mardi Gras for homeless children is this huge event. It takes place on the actual Mardi Gras, which is the 25th of February. It is at the Northern Kentucky Convention Center, and it is over 2,000 people, all you can eat, all you can drink, parades, beads, clowns, I mean, you name it.
All of the debauchery is there.
Yes, and I always tell people, like, maybe take a half day the next day. or the whole day. Yeah, I mean, I would definitely recommend whole day, but, some people can just take the half day.
Yeah, I got it.
So, how long has it been around?
This is the 29th year for Mardi Gras for homeless
29
children.
years, wow.
And so who does it benefit them?
It benefits Bethany House Services in Cincinnati, Brighton Center in Newport, and Welcome House in Covington.
Yeah, so basically, the NKRA, the Northern Kentucky Restaurant Association, they started this event 29 years ago after a horrific incident with a gentleman who was homeless, and he had children, and they ended up dying in a garage fire, I believe. That's the whole story. And when they heard that story, it really kind of set forth the course of action to really help children that are experiencing homelessness in Northern Kentucky and Greater Cincinnati. And from that, it has evolved into this huge event that benefits all three of us, Bethany, Brighton, and us, all have shelters for women and kids.
And this is it's an interesting collaboration because it's the restaurants working together, it's organizations that help homeless families working together. So really, it's a combination of efforts to really help out those in need.
100%.
Yeah, we have a great community here.
And so I've been to this event and I love it. But for someone who's coming to our community who's never been to this thing, what's it like?
So my best advice for anyone that is on the fence about this event is that you have to go to it once. Because for us who have been to it year after year, I feel like sometimes I can't justify the magnitude of this event and how much fun it is. It's really something you have to experience once, and I truly feel that one time you go, you will want to go every year after that.
Yeah. I feel like it's you somehow manage to turn the inside of the convention center
Yes.
into a Mardi Gras party.
It's
I mean,
insanity.
they have a big huge giant parade, and is Giovanni Bernard the Grand Marshal
Gio's
again?
the Grand Marshal again.
Nice.
Yeah,
And
so
they have
that's awesome.
The big
And
huge float that runs like
yeah, the
beads
float,
at the crowd.
Beachwood Band it
Yeah.
plays, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's so cool. It's really fun.
So let's talk tickets. Where do we get them? How much are they?
You can buy tickets on each agency's website.
Okay.
So again, that's Welcome House of Northern Kentucky, Bethany House in Cincinnati, and Brighton Center in Newport.
Awesome.
And I think Sarah has the ticket prices,
yeah,
like just
sorry.
basic ticket prices.
So regular tickets are $75 each, and VIP tickets are $95. That grants you early permission. You can beat the crowd, get a good parking spot.
Oh, that's
get
key.
To,
The
get to that
VIP
food before
ticket is
everybody
where
else
it's at.
does.
VIP is totally where it's at.
It really is.
And we also have table sponsors available too for companies. So if that's something you're interested in, a lot of the table sponsors have very special perks, like in terms of marketing and all that good stuff. But some of the perks of getting a sponsorship table are things like you have like a server come to you and bring you drinks and food or take stuff away off your table so it doesn't get cluttered. And so there's just like a lot of little things that kind of come with the sponsorships that are really cool.
And it's great if you just have a group of friends too, because if you're not a sponsor, you actually do not have a table. So if you've got 10 people, you want to have a table to put your stuff down, it breaks down to $85 per person instead of the $75 or $95.
That's a great point. Save a
It's
little.
totally
See, I
worth
told
it.
you Sarah was my logistics
There you
person.
go.
I know. I'm always like, give me the numbers, Sarah.
Well, and normally this is the part of the show where we go ahead and ask you the monthly question, but you guys had some huge news.
Yeah.
The Bezos grant. Tell us about
Right.
that. What is this all about? Everyone's been buzzing about it.
Yeah, so we are just beyond just kind of stunned still and like very grateful, obviously. So the way that this Day One Families Fund works through Amazon and the Jeff Bezos Foundation was just a community of people, like industry experts, advocates, homeless advocates came together and they sort of scoured the nation. This is a nationwide grant, and really kind of honed in on agencies that were moving the needle on family homelessness. And in our area, we were chosen and we were asked to apply. So Bethany House received it, and we received the $1.25 million. So, I mean, it's just like I think it's like really a once in a lifetime thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're just like still absorbing that, and we're just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So the $1.25 million is a 5-year grant, $250,000 a year. And what that's really doing is enhancing the programs and services that we already offer that we provide for families. So a family for us can look like maybe like husband and wife who live together, but it's really predominantly the kids. So like if mom and dad have kids, or mom has 2 kids, or whatever that might look like, what that's doing is it's enhancing the funding that we already receive. So they are restricted dollars, and we still need to do our normal day-to-day fundraising, obviously.
Hence Mardi Gras.
Right, hence Mardi Gras, because what it's really allowing us to do is take what we do with our families one step further by providing things that we normally would have never been able to provide because of that lack of funding. So for example, we can like divert people from shelter and maybe put them in a hotel room for a couple days, or provide like transportation to hospital visits or things like that. Those were all things that we really didn't have in our budget prior to receiving this. So we're just kind of moving full steam ahead with that. We've already been able to implement a lot of like rental assistance and like paying Duke Energy bills. Like I said, these were the things we were never really able to do, and now we can do that. And our hope is to really catch kids, from experiencing homelessness, and so that we can get them out of that situation and, really just kind of grab people out of poverty and make their lives a lot better and a lot more stable.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
And good luck with figuring out new ways to help those
Yeah,
folks. That will be fun.
It's fun.
It'll be fun
It
to
is
do.
fun.
All right, so we're down to the monthly question. This is the beginning of the new year. We all have these resolutions, right? The Chamber's focused on health and wellness, though, for the month of January. So what's one thing you do to focus on health and or wellness? Sarah, we'll start with you.
All right, so my husband and I actually live on a farm, so we are outside a lot. We're carrying wood inside. We actually partially heat our house with a wood-burning stove. We have to go out and feed the animals. We just take our dog for walks on our property, so we just try to get outside at least a few days a week to get moving.
Yeah, Sarah and I, we just were talking about how this question kind of made us a little nervous because we were like, oh, we're not like really gym people.
Yeah. No, you don't have to be a gym person.
Yeah, no, yeah, I agree. But, two things that I always like, well, I love juicing celery. Mm-hmm. I don't know if anyone's ever done that. It tastes like V8 juice, but just like without the tomatoes in it. So I love drinking celery juice in the morning. It kind of gives me energy and makes me feel really good. But the other thing is that I don't ever drink pop. So I kind of gave that up. I'm a water drinker.
Every little bit helps.
Yes, exactly.
My wife's got me on the intermittent fasting thing right now.
Really? And the 2-ingredient pizza dough?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a given. That's a given.
Well, thank you guys so much. We appreciate it. And good luck on Mardi Gras. And again, you know where to get the tickets. You can go to Welcome House's website. Check that out right there if you want to buy tickets to Mardi Gras. All right. Thank you guys for joining us. Next week, we're going to be talking about some other fun topics.
Fun topics.
No
Jeremy, one's going to remain in, so hopefully we won't have any technical issues next week. Womp womp. We're going to do trends in health benefits, and that's going to be Haran, a great chamber member who's been a super great partner with us for a while. And then also bore restoration. This is another one of those like the roof topic where it's like we don't know that it's really interesting until the guy gets in here and he starts talking about it.
So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Be sure to tune in. We want to thank our title sponsor, CVG, as always, and L&N Federal Credit Union, our studio sponsor as well. And to all of our guests today, Kelly and Sarah, thanks again, and Dan earlier as well.
Thanks for having us.
I'm Catherine Nero. This is Jeremy Schramm. Ben Gastrite's running the show back there with a little help from his friends as well. We appreciate you guys joining us. Again, subscribe, like us, share us, and we'll see you right back here next week.